Thank you very much, Radhika, for the invitation. It's a pleasure for me to be here. It's not my first time at the International Manifesto Group webinars. And here we discuss the event, which is sure very important for contemporary Russian politics, because all the policy of historical memory, let's say, of the Kremlin of Vladimir Putin is strongly focused on the victory in the Second World War, or as we name the Russian-German front of the Second World War, the Great Patriotic War in Russia. And the commemoration, like military parades, like other memorial meetings and demonstrations became, for now, one of the major part of the official domestic policy, but also accepted by a larger part of the society, I would like to say. It's also interesting that in the Soviet times, there were no such tradition like military parades on May 9, the day of victory for Russia, because it's just to say what is the difference between two dates of commemoration. May 8 for Europe, for the whole world, and May 9 for Russia, because the final armistice, the ceasefire, the capitulation of Germany entered into force at the late evening of May 8, according to Berlin time. But for Moscow time, it was already May 9. So for Russia is, and the Soviet army was doing its job, their daily timetable in Europe as well was done according to the Moscow time, not to the local time, Berlin time, and so on. And so for Russia, the main date is May 9, not May 8. And now we see also mainly in Central and Eastern Europe the politicization of two dates, what is to select. If you select the May 8, it means that you are more or less pro-European, pro-democratic. And if you select the May 9, it means that you are Putinist and something like this. But let's me repeat, because in the Soviet time, there were no such traditions like yearly military parade on May 9 in the Soviet Union, because the main military parade of the USSR was done at another date, November 7, which was the date of the October Socialist Revolution of 1917. And only for some jubilee years, like 1965, 1985, there were military parades on May 9. And it was, it means that it was just, it was not a Soviet tradition, but it became a post-Soviet tradition, started not by Vladimir Putin, by Boris Yeltsin in 1995. Another jubilee date of the victory, when he organized the military parade, and there was a special federal law that proclaimed that military parades should become yearly in the Russian Federation. So the one was done this year as well. Before the parade, there were maybe the most massive drone attack on Moscow by the Ukrainian armed forces. It was a total chaos in all Moscow airports for May 6, May 7, May 8. So the Ukrainians showed their strength in the air, and unfortunately, Russian anti-air defense was not able to protect the city. But for the May 9, it was all more or less quiet. in the area around Moscow. Maybe it was some shadow agreement between the Ukrainians and the Russians not to send drones exactly during the time of the parade, but who knows? And the specificity of the current parade is strongly connected with the conflict with Ukraine for sure, and there were many speculations a few months before that the military conflict could be ended by May 9. So Donald Trump wanted to stop it by Easter, so April 20. Many in Russia were thinking that it will be stopped by May 9, and nothing happened. So some people in Russia were expecting that the traditional historical memory day, the day of the victory in the Great Patriotic War, could be connected with the greater stopping of hostilities now, but it doesn't happen. But now we've seen a few days ago direct negotiations started in Istanbul between the Russians and the Ukrainians without much success for now, but let's see what happens. So, I mean, that is for Russia, for the Russian society, it's sure a very important commemorative date. It's a very active instrument in the policy of in constructing policy of historical memory for the Kremlin, for Vladimir Putin personally. But it's also, Radhika, if you allow me a couple of minutes more, I'd like to react to your introduction. Yes, what is the fascism now? Is it specific or Nazism? Is it specific only for Hitler, for Germany of those years, or is it general? And could be applied to ultra-right forces now. And it's also another thing that's how easy it became to blame your opponent as a fascist. For example, in this conflict, both the Russians and the Ukrainians, we blame each other as fascists almost every day. And in the Israeli-Palestine conflict now, with all this, that tragedy of Palestine that we see, many people very easily now blame the Israelis as the fascists. Is it correct? I don't know. So it's a very and generally, if you look at the ultra-right arena, is Donald Trump fascist or no? Is somebody else, maybe Nigel Farage in the UK, fascist or no? So the question is that we very easily use the term fascist for everybody we don't like, but what are the criteria, what are the reasons to nominate some phenomenon or some person as a fascist objectively, not as a kind of blaming? It's a very difficult question for me, and thank you for your introduction on this. Thank you, Radik.
I'm Michael Hudson. I'm appearing here for the International Manifesto Group. If you like this video and ones like it, please subscribe. For more information, go to the address on the screen.